Well, joining me now, Congressman Pat Fallon, Texas Oversight and Accountability Committee. Congressman, what do you make of these leaks and how dangerous could this possibly be for our diplomatic relations?
Carl, they're very dangerous because, it's threatening U.S. interests and our national security, but also our assets. These are human beings that, are working for our intelligence agencies overseas at the risk of their own lives. So people could lose their lives. People could be murdered because of what this moron has done. And it's about time to throw the book at him. And also really look inwardly, too, though. Why the hell is a low-level member of the military having access to these kind of sensitive documents? It makes no sense.
Yeah, well, Congressman, when I was a SEAL, actually, I was like at E4, and I had, I was in skiffs and things like that. And it was a real process, even as a SEAL, to get in there. So you raise an interesting point. I think this is incredibly dangerous. But what is being done right now on the State Department side to kind of try to at least figure out what has been leaked so they can then do damage control?
Yeah, I would very much hope so that they're doing just that. Because I think that the Oversight Committee should take a look at this and ask the folks in charge of the DOD, what in the world are you doing? Do you have a process in place?
Right.
Because if you're going to give access to, an airman and, E2, E3, then this is going to happen again repeatedly. And I also think it's interesting, Carl, that the left is trying to paint this as some MAGA extremist, when you really look at the folks that leak these things, like a Jonathan Pollard and Bo Bergdahl, the one that ran away, and then he got treated very lightly, and then Chelsea Manning and all these other people, they're always left-wingers that are betraying the country.
Right. Yeah, well, it's a one-way street with that, Congressman. You know that. All right, so this is an interesting one. Senate Republicans, they've documents now showing millions of dollars going from Chinese companies to the Trump. No, actually, it's Joe Biden's son, Hunter. This is something that everybody said was happening. They all called us crazy. Turns out now they got the receipts for it. What's the impact here?
Carl, we are going where the evidence leads us. And every time we find more, then there's something else. There's a bigger room. It's almost like when you're going down those pyramids in ancient Egypt, you're finding one tomb and then you find another one and another one. And this very interesting, too. You have these like the Chinese companies that are all dominated by the Chinese Communist Party. Then they're paying Rob Walker. Then Rob Walker just doesn't give the money to Hunter Biden. He then gives it to another business associate,
right,
who then, and it's always in these LLCs, who then distributes it to the Bidens. So there's like 4 layers. If it's on the up and up, why? And also, we were always, as members of Congress, granted access to SARs, suspicious activity reports. But when Joe Biden took office, the DOJ said, no, you can't have them. Now, we thought there were 150 SARs issued on the Biden family. These are suspicious activities like fraud, money laundering, that kind of thing. Now, Carl, there might be 250.
I guess we weren't so crazy after all. Congressman, real quick, I got about 30 seconds left. Big tech, they are just bleeding resources right now. There are people all over that they have to fire: Meta, Amazon, Google, Apple. They've laid off like 170,000 people since the start of the year. Is this are they looking at people like Elon Musk being like, wow, he fired like 70% of the company, it still works?
Well, they were hiring people just really for ego. That was a big thing in Silicon Valley. Look at how many employees we have. It doesn't matter if they actually work because they were flush with cash during COVID and the lockdowns. Now they're not. Now they actually have to be lean. And I think this is what you get when you don't value accountability, when you don't say that, we're going to have a meritocracy, and you actually have to earn your money.
Weird. Yeah, I remember watching that Twitter video before Elon took over. It was like, I'm getting my free breakfast and then a latte and then I'm logging into my nap room. Unbelievable. Congressman Pat Fallon, we appreciate you taking the time for us today, sir.